Good morning, Dan and Amy. And as we mentioned before the Mike Scott newscast, Trump is down 5 votes because Dixville Notch, New Hampshire, came in for Joe Biden. Clean sweep. Dixville Notch, by the way, the name of my high school band.
Oh, what was it a cover for?
So ironic. It was a Georgia Satellites tribute band. We killed with Keep Your Hands to Yourself.
Oh, yeah. But that might be a good thing because history revisited.
Right. Nixon was the last president to do that in 1960, and we know how that turned out for Nixon. Well, let's get a handle on whether or not the Trump family thinks that they can overcome that 5-vote deficit out of Dixville Notch. To do that, we're pleased to be joined by Eric Trump, executive president of the Trump Organization. Eric, thanks for being with us again. Appreciate it.
Dan, Amy, what's going on, guys? Yeah, I think we're very, very worried about the 5 votes from New Hampshire, but no, guys, the amount of we got back to Washington at 4 o'clock last night from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm not sure if anybody saw that rally last night, but there's 50,000 people out there and they're chanting, "We love you, we love you." I've never seen anything like this. It was unbelievable.
And I saw your wife on stage in Kenosha. She was doing, she did a great job.
No, thank you. Yeah, Laura's a rock star. She's here. She's just running out now, and we're all just working hard in the final few minutes. We leave nothing on the table, and I'm proud of my father. I'm proud of everything he's accomplished over the last 4 years. I'm proud of going all over and campaigning the way we have. Our family just worked tirelessly. He worked tirelessly. He did 6 of those yesterday, and every single one, 30, 40, 50,000 people. And it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, the spirit in this country.
If President Trump wins re-election, I think people will look back and say the decision to restart the rallies to get him out among the electorate was a watershed moment because first of all, everybody marvels at his energy level, number one. But number two, the crowds, especially for a second term. It's not like people are just being introduced to this gentleman as a candidate. The crowds are amazing. And also out on the hustings, very strategic to bring out every Trump leaner to make sure that they vote. This is part of a larger GOP effort, which is what it is. Seems to me that, again, if he's successful today, that it will be the enthusiasm advantage he has over Joe Biden that will have made the difference.
Yeah, Dan, listen, I think that's well said. At the same time, you got to realize it goes on beyond a political candidate. People are fighting for what they really believe this country is, and you've got a radical left. It's not the Democratic Party of JFK and of the past. You literally have a radical left today that wants to get rid of the faith in America, that is okay seeing people burn the American flag, is okay with people kneeling for the national anthem. You have a radical left that wants to increase people's taxes by $4 trillion, reverse my father's tax cuts, and then increase taxes by another $4 trillion. You have a radical left who is literally called to abolish law enforcement. That's why we have every law enforcement endorsement in the country. Literally every single one my father, has. And I could go on and on and on, but they want to take faith out of society. They want to attack the flag. They want to attack the Pledge of Allegiance. They want to attack our anthem. And then on the opposite side, you have a guy who wants the greatest economy in the world, the strongest military in the world, has done criminal justice reform, has done peace in the Middle East, opportunity zones. Moved the embassy to Jerusalem, has protected faith in America, and built a southern border. We have the lowest amounts of human trafficking and drug trade in the history of our nation. And you've got the lowest energy prices at the pump. People are paying $1.90 per gallon of gas, whereas under Obama and Biden it was $5.50, $5.40, $5.50, and these guys are worried about banning plastic straws when my father wants to build the greatest economy this nation's ever seen. It's just there's a major divergence, and the radical left, they're an extreme party at this point, and I think that's why you see the passion you do out there.
And let's talk about that. Watching Joe Biden struggle through these rallies where people are sitting in their cars and not a lot of people are there. He's not well. Personally, I don't think. So how long before it becomes a Harris-Biden rather than a Biden-Harris administration?
Well, Amy, I think that's right. I've said what you just said, a million times, and I hate doing it, but it's a fact. The guy gets up there and he says that he's running for the United States Senate. He said that he lifted 740 million women out of poverty when there's 340 million people in the country, half of which are men. Last week he called Arizona a city. He goes, "It's great to be in the wonderful city of Arizona." He was doing a Zoom conference call in Arizona. It's great to be dialing into the wonderful city of Arizona. I'm saying Arizona is a state, and a state that you need to win. And if there's one thing you can say about my father, I mean, there's no shortage of energy. And when you look at these killers around the world, the Putins of the world, and the President Xi of China, and all these places, I mean, you better have energy and you better have backbone. And when you see a man who literally doesn't come out of his house in Wilmington, Delaware, for days on end, I mean, literally days on end, and he just doesn't have the energy. You need energy in the Oval Office. I mean, it's the most stressful, hardest job in the world, and you literally have a guy who won't leave his house for 4 days on end, and the guy's been in office for 47 years. He spent 47 years in government. I mean, does anybody really believe that he saved his best idea for last? That he found the secret sauce in year 48.
Just talking about the nuts and bolts of this, too, pardon my Warren Zevon, but I think Trump supporters are concerned that the Trump campaign will bring the lawyers, guns, and money to Pennsylvania or wherever it needs to be brought if there is evidence of any sort of chicanery with the ballot count in in particular jurisdictions within states that may turn out to be very close. Give us some discussion of how the Trump campaign is prepared, what they're prepared to do in states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, elsewhere.
Yeah, listen, the only thing my father's ever asked for is just a fair election. You see, I'm sure you guys saw the story of, they found hundreds of absentee ballots from our incredible troops overseas who had voted in Pennsylvania. They were all filled out for my father, and they found a whole pile of them in a drainage ditch in central, Pennsylvania. They literally took, Trump absentee ballots from military members serving overseas, and somebody dumped them in a drainage ditch. And I mean, it's crazy. You do have that out there. I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, just look at Minnesota, look at Minneapolis, and so how much voter fraud that you're seeing in that city right now. And we have it on tape, and the FBI is investigating, and DOJ is investigating, and everything else. And
DOJ is in. It was reported this morning. DOJ has a footprint now in Minnesota because of what you're describing.
Yeah, it was really bad, guys. Like, ballot harvesting, where they're going around with $100 bills and they're paying cash for people to vote, one way, and it was being orchestrated apparently by one of the campaigns there. It was being tracked back to
Omar.
Ilhan Omar.
Yeah.
That's and these guys, it's bad stuff. They're walking around with wads of cash, paying people for their votes, and there's also other people who are going up to doors of senior citizens and intimidating them. Give me your ballot right now. And these people, and they don't know what to do. They live at home by themselves. Some stranger walks up to their door, and they're being strong-armed for their ballot. And guys, this is happening, and it's real, and the media is turning a blind eye to it. And the only thing my father wants is just a fair election. I don't think you can beat him with a fair election. I really believe it. He's done too good of a job for our economy and our nation, our schools, and our military, and he's just done too much. And for law enforcement, I just don't think this radical party or a guy who can't get through a sentence can beat him if it's not for fraud. And all my father is asking for is a fair election.
So the press was reporting that President Trump said, I'm going to declare victory early, even before the networks do, if North Carolina, Georgia come in, and so on and so forth. He disputed that, so that's not true. On the flip side, no press coverage of this, which is Biden's campaign manager, Jen O'Malley Dillon, saying the following at a briefing yesterday. Listen.
Under no scenario will Donald Trump be declared a victor on election night. And we think that that's really fundamental to how we want to approach tomorrow.
That's an interesting statement to make for a campaign manager. I don't know that it's her call whether or not Donald Trump's the victor.
Yeah, it follows what Hillary said, where it's, under no scenario do you concede. So if my father wins Michigan and Wisconsin and Minnesota and Pennsylvania and North Carolina and Arizona and Nevada, and you mean to tell me he wins all those states and, he still won't concede? And, guys, this is what we're dealing with. I mean, this is what we're dealing with. I mean, we are watching the cheating very, very carefully. The DOJ is watching it very, very carefully. And I think ultimately, people are going to get out and vote so overwhelmingly. I think it's going to be over. I mean, I really believe that in my heart of hearts. But people have to get out to the polls, and people have to vote. I mean, they just have to get out, and you have to vote, especially in those states. I mean, when you look at Wisconsin, you have to get out and vote. And I'd love to win your great state. I mean, I really would. I really would. I think you could use a little I think you could use a little Trump in the state, and it's a state I love, and it's a state that I can't tell you how much time I've spent in, for obvious reasons that you guys know. And I'd love to win the state. I mean, we have so much support there, but
yeah. And Eric, I got to tell you, a lot of
really
Democrats are voting for your father, so that's refreshing.
Yeah,
but I know we have to let you go, but what's the plan for tonight?
Well, the plan for tonight, we're all going to be together as a family. We do everything as a family, and hopefully we have a beautiful night. It's we're all on about 7 minutes of sleep from last night. Again, we got at 4:00 in the morning, and I started doing radio at 6 a.m. So we'll probably have toothpicks under our eyes. But hey, we've never left anything on the field ever in our lives as a family. We're not about to start today, so we can sleep sometime next month. But no, we'll be together as a family, and I'm just incredibly proud of my father, and I think he's made this country proud. And guys, I really appreciate the friendship. You guys have been just incredible. You guys have been beyond incredible. So thank you for the love and warmth that I always get every time I'm on the show.
Eric Trump, Executive President of the Trump Organization. Eric, thanks for joining us again, and best of luck tonight.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hey all, this is Jim Carr, co-host of the #1 rated